Things to touch on. I want to get way deep in the woods here with this thing, but we'll hit on impeachment, the articles being presented today. Your thoughts on that?
Well, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks in the House, this has become really has been from the beginning a partisan process in which the Democrats are impeaching the president for the unforgivable sin of having beaten Crooked Hillary in 2016. Fundamentally, that's what this is about. They wanted to try to reverse the results of the last election because they worry that they can't win the next election. There's a lot of important business that needs to be done, Kevin, before the end of the year, and unfortunately, it's not getting done.
Senator, there's word that the House has passed any number of bipartisan bills that the Senate is sitting on right now. Your take on that?
Well, two responses to that, Kevin. First, correct. We are not going to take up radical proposals like the Green New Deal or Medicare for All or any of the other fantastical socialist schemes of the House Democrats. But second, I don't think the House has been ratifying many treaties or confirming many judges, and we've spent a lot of our time this year doing just that, to include a great new judge right there at home in Little Rock. So we've been plenty busy in the Senate doing the people's business. We just wish that we had a more willing partner over in the House of Representatives.
Senator Tom Cotton, what about the president, too? I mean, multiple witnesses have said that there was a concern there with what happened in impeachment, enough concern that it was reported to higher-ups than sworn testimony in front of Congress. At the minimum, can we say the president maybe used bad judgment in this situation with the Ukraine?
Okay, I mean, Kevin, what the president has said, and he released a transcript of his phone call with President Zelensky of Ukraine to corroborate what he said, is that he was legitimately concerned that Europe was not paying its fair share to support Ukraine, and that this new administration in Ukraine take affirmative steps to address the endemic corruption in Ukrainian society and in government. It's pretty hard to say that there was a quid pro quo of withholding foreign aid in return for political investigations when, in fact, the aid was released and there was no investigation.
Senator, again, I just wanted to touch on it and get your take on what was happening there. Also, the report out about Afghanistan. The report suggests that we haven't made the progress we've thought and that some of the leaders there haven't really provided the information that they should have.
Regrettably, Kevin, we haven't made the progress I would like to see. I think a lot of our candidates would like to see it as well. In some areas, in fact, we've backslid since I was in Afghanistan 10 years ago. That's why it's so important that we try to have some kind of peaceful negotiated settlement inside of Afghanistan. What we've learned over 18 years is that we cannot simply win a military victory against the Taliban and then depart Afghanistan and hope that it won't be used as a terrorist launching pad again against the United States and our citizens and interests and allies around the world. So there's no doubt we haven't seen the progress that we would like to see over the last 18 years. What we need, again, is some kind of negotiated political settlement, and I know that's what the president is hoping for, in which we can bring together our adversaries, the Taliban, to have them renounce their support for al-Qaeda in the past, to sit down and cooperate with the elected government of Afghanistan to try to have some kind of peaceful and durable solution there that doesn't let Afghanistan once again become what it was on September 11, 2001, the launching pad for terrorist attacks against the United States.
Senator Tom Cotton, News Radio 102.9 KARN. Senator, a little bit of ways away, we've got North Korea doing their thing again. Kim Jong-un is saying that we're going to get a Christmas present. What about that situation?
We'll monitor what's happening in North Korea over the next 15 days, but the president is correct in that they have not taken any steps that would violate the commitments they made to him in the first summit last year. Most of their missile testing is all short-range missile testing. There's been no more nuclear testing. In the end, what we want to see from Korea is denuclearization. If they do that, they have a lot of promise for the future. But if they don't do that, especially if they start, again, testing medium and intercontinental range missiles, that will be a different set of circumstances.
Senator, you put out a bill there that targets foreign hostage takers. What is this about, new legislation you've got?
Well, Kevin, unfortunately, our government has kind of a neither fish nor fowl approach towards hostages, and we've had that for a long time. On the one hand, we don't pay ransom, as we shouldn't, because that only encourages more hostages. But on the other hand, we don't impose the kind of punitive, crippling punishment that would deter anyone from ever taking an American hostage. my bill would heighten the sanctions and make them mandatory for any person identified for having taken or assisted in the taking of American hostages. So let's take the Ayatollahs and everyone in that regime that's responsible for holding Americans hostages. It would pose immediate sanctions on them. It would cut them off from all international financing. It would revoke visas for not only them, but their families as well. Our candidates would be shocked to learn, as I was in the research for this bill, just how many children and relatives of ruthless enemies are in the United States, going to school or benefiting from our laws. If foreign regime officials are going to impose the deprivation and loss of a loved one of an American family, then the least we can do is say they're going to suffer a little loss themselves. Their kids can't come to our best universities. Their wives can't come shop on Rodeo Drive.
Right. Well, you gave a pretty good example about this. It goes back to 1979 with the Iranian hostages. And how does this all come into this thing?
Yeah, so, back in 1979, there was a woman named Marie Ebtekar who was the young mouthpiece of the embassy takeover in KARN. She married another hostage taker. She's now one of the most senior women in the Iranian government, yet their child was able to come to the United States and study here and get a degree. It's preposterous.
Senator Tom Cotton, good to have you on this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kevin.